Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to each one of you. It's really nice to have you here. I know for those of us who are able to hear, I hope you've enjoyed the music that was there. Um, Again, let me take this opportunity to welcome you to the 2021 Digital Essay Competition launch. And I want to thank each one of you for sparing time to be with us this afternoon. As we start off, maybe just to mention to colleagues in the colleague who are deaf, please, we have two interpreters in this particular call. We have Susan Thuo and Meg Odogi. Both of those are interpreters. Currently, Meg is doing the interpretation. So if you would like, you can pin them on your screen so that you can be able to see them. As we continue with the call and this particular event, please feel free to engage. You can send us a chat if you have any questions, and we will be able to reach out to you. I see Paul has raised his hand, but before I give Paul a chance to say something, may I ask an alumni, a DEC, a Digital Essay Competition alumni, who has joined us this afternoon, maybe to pray, and then so that we ask for God's blessings in this event. Otherwise, feel free and comfortable in this particular call. Welcome. Welcome, Renice.
Let's pray together. Oh God, thank you for this day. May you start with us the meeting and may you end with us. For all I ask that in and believing in you. Amen. Okay, my name is Renice. I am from Rangala Girls. I've already done my KCSE. I got to know this organization from my French teacher, and it's an amazing, and I've loved it, and I would encourage all those who are taking part in this essay to continue because it's a great opportunity. And if I get many opportunities, I'll seize them. Thank you so much.
Much apprecited, Renice. Before I introduce my co-host in this particular event, I am privileged this year to have a co-host, and I'm so happy that I'll have somebody who will be with me. So I see Paul has raised his hand so that I don't ignore him. Maybe I can ask him to say something. Paul, you can unmute.
Good afternoon, Mercy, and everyone on board.
Good afternoon to you, Paul.
Well, my name is Paul. I'm joining the meeting from Nyeri, Hoitraino.
All right.
I had just raised the hand. I thought the meeting had started, but it has just started now. I think I'm sorted. I'm okay. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Paul. I just wanted to make sure that we don't leave you out. Now, allow me to introduce my co-host today for this particular meeting, a colleague of mine. She's called Lilian Kibagendi. She's here. So Lilian, where do you want us to move from here?
Thank you very much, Mercy, and karibu sana to DEC 2021. You are very welcome. We have a very exciting program ahead of us. We have amazing speakers, people who will engage us, people who will just inspire our dear hearts. And to start us off, we have a team member of ours, the Senior Manager of Programs, Ikitabu, called Michael Ngeno. For the past 9 years, he has been driving the DEC bus, and it has grown over time with positive impact to learners in Kenya. And today he's just going to share about DEC, but most importantly, he's going to speak from his heart concerning this amazing program. Karibu sana, Michael Ngeno.
Thank you so much, Lilian and Mercy and Renice. Take the opportunity to say hi to you, everyone. I hope everyone is well and safe. We are very much excited to welcome you to the 2021 Digital Essay Competition by Ikitabu. And so before I move ahead to my slides, Amon is going to guide us through that. I'm welcoming everyone to this launch, and more so the learners, the students, to this exciting activity of the year, where we get to hear your thoughts on how you've experienced the COVID-19 journey from last year. So Amon, maybe you can guide us through the slides. So I'm going just to give you facts about the competition and basically how to take part in the competition. So as my colleagues have mentioned, eKitabu has run this exercise for the last 9 years. This is the 9th year. And so we are excited to welcome students from over 8,000 schools, both private and public, students who are of special needs or mainstream are also welcome to the event to participate in the digital essay competition. Ordinarily, we welcome the students to write essays and submit them online through essay.ekitabu.com over the years. And so it's still the same way you can participate. We also, we are glad to have offered scholarship money and devices worth over 7 million to the winning students and teachers. Next slide, Amon. So since 2013, we've had students from various schools participating, close to over 45,000 students from all the 47 counties of Kenya, and covering close to 2,000 schools from when we started. Next slide. Next slide. So this year we are asking the students to submit essays on the topic, what are the hardest and best experiences you've had during the COVID-19 pandemic? Ama kwa Kiswahili ni magumu na mazuri yapi uliyoyapitia kipindi hiki cha corona? And same translation in French, also in German. Next slide. So the categories we have, the main ones are primary school students who are open or are welcome to participate from class 5 to 8, and they submit essays in written essays for between 500 to 800 words. For secondary school category, we have from Form 1 to Form 4, they submit their essays of between 500 to 1,500 essays, 1,500 words. And the submission categories are in English, Kiswahili, French, art, or German. Next slide. So the main objectives for this year's digital essay competition is to include schools from all the 47 counties. And the other objective is to provide support to learning either in or out of school. And we are planning to make it as inclusive as possible and the most inclusive ever. Next slide. So, and the main ways in which you get to participate or to do the submission is: one, go through the website essay.ekitabu.com, where you get to upload your essay, or you can even be able to type in your essay. And so that is option number one. Next slide, Amon. Option number two is, of course, through email. Students are allowed to submit through email by attaching their essays and sending them to essaycontest@ekitabu.com. Option number three, which is not the least, is also, we have also devised a way in which you can submit essays through WhatsApp in the number provided, 0708 727 037. This way, students or learners with disabilities, especially those who are deaf, can also submit videos in terms of KSL. or even the same option can provide you with an option of scanning and sending the essays. So I take this opportunity to welcome the learners to do the submissions starting from today and tunaenda digital. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Michael. I call Michael one of the man behind the digital essay competition. And as Lillian mentioned, I mean, he's driven the bus for the last 9 years. I don't know if there's somebody who drives a bus literally for 9 years and they're still passionate doing it. So well done, Michael, for the great work that you're doing there. So we hope that, of course, digital essay competition will grow. Maybe your bus will grow to a train, I don't know, to a speed train someday.
Probably.
So all the best. And we, of course, as Michael has said, we are excited to have the 2021 digital essay competition, and basically even to have this event. It's really a great privilege. Now, taking us to the next session, or rather the next person who was coming to speak to us. She's probably the youngest person in this particular team. And but one thing that I like with her, she's very passionate. And I was telling my colleagues earlier today that this lady or this girl she's very articulate for her age. And we've worked with her for some time now. I think the first time we did a launch was in her school. That is Loreto Musongari, yes. And we went there and she wrote a poem about the digital essay competition. And so to just bring to the screen, here is Zawadi Kayo, a poet and an upcoming artist.
Hello everyone, I hope you're well and keeping safe from the COVID-19. My name is Awadi Kayo. I'm a 7-year-old poet, upcoming performing artist from Kenya, and I would like to share with you my diary for COVID-19. Well, I wash my hands a lot because it helps in stopping the spread of the COVID-19. Please wash your hands properly for at least 20 seconds, and if you're not sure what 20 seconds is, then you may use my song. I wash my hands, you wash your hands, so we can stop this COVID-19. I wash my hands, you wash your hands, so we can stop this COVID-19. I wash my hands. Like I said, I help in a lot of things at home. One of them is the house chores. So right now I'm cooking, and cooking is one of the house chores. Chapati. I'm cooking chapati. Chapati is one of the favorite foods in Kenya. So I hope it will taste really good because I love cooking. And helping at home is also good. Just keeping myself busy during this time of Corona. This here is my corner where I spend like around 2 hours of studying Monday to Friday. The teacher posts my work. We do online classes and I do it every day. So I do this for learning and also to enjoy myself because like schools have closed, so we don't know what to do. We are bored inside the house. So I learn at the same time. I'm also keeping myself busy and also having fun. I also exercise to keep fit and to stay healthy. Please follow all the guidelines given by the Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization to fight this invisible monster. Stay safe, save lives.
Well, I hope you guys can prove me right that she is really articulate and really good. We are just clapping. For those who are looking at the screen, I think you can put on your videos and just do this. This is a way to appreciate Zawadi in sign language. So thank you everyone. You all look beautiful on the screen. Thank you. Now, I just want to thank Zawadi's mom. I know she's here, she's joining this call and she's part of this call. We appreciate you and the work that you're doing. I know for Zawadi's success, there's somebody behind it. And we really want to thank you and your family for supporting Zawadi over time. And we look forward to working with you and even grow as we grow the digital essay competition. Now, in the next person that will be coming again to our screen, I just want to pass apologies from the Kenya Publishers Association chairman, that is Mr. Lawrence Jagi, who is a parent. He's actually a parent to a winner of the digital essay competition. He really wanted to join us this afternoon, but he called me a few minutes before this call, just mentioning that he's not able to join the call because he had to seek for medication. So he was wishing us all the best in this particular call, but he wanted to make you to know that he is supporting this program, and together with the entire Kenya Publishers Association fraternity. Now, there is a team, our colleagues in the call that we really appreciate over time, as well as partners in the digital essay competition. And in fact, for people like Renise, who won the 2020 French category, there are people who have actually been very supportive in terms of even providing sponsorship for this particular category. So we just want to acknowledge the French embassy, represented by Melanie and Julie in this particular call. And just to speak to us briefly about maybe even their journey, and just tell us a little bit about why were you interested to to support this category in the digital essay competition. Julie, do you want to tell us more about that?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Merci, to give us the floor. We have a little speech, but we will do it quick. So decentralization, access to books, culture, and the promotion of French in rural areas are common value for the French Embassy and Equitable. We have been working with Equitable since 2018, and we have formalized this partnership by signing an agreement in 2020 on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the Francophonie. As I said, we share the value of access to education and culture defined by Equitable. We strongly defend multilingualism and access to foreign language for the already multilingual use of this whole country. The aim of the cooperation is to give to our 20 resource centers in French the capacity to be attractive in order to promote reading and French language more intensely, but also to equip them and train them in educational tools and provide them digital devices with book reader and a free access of the Equitable platform. So I thank Equitable to provide this free access and to our center, and to help us to train them also. We support this digital essay competition event because we are thinking it's important to sit with you and promote the French-speaking world within this multilingual event. With Equitable, we have a concrete solution for the access of all in Kenya to reading and therefore to writing. I am convinced that this platform will change the life of many young people by facilitating access to resources for all levels, all objectives, and all ages. And to continue, that gives thousands of young Kenyans the chance to express themselves in the language of their choice. The unprecedented crisis that we are going through and that we are experiencing for more than 1 year now is certainly a source of inspiration. So find young people, find your memories, the good one, the difficult one, and extract from them the seeds of the future you want to make happen. Writing a foreign language is a real challenge. Yet the foreign language offers you perspective that your language does not, and vice versa. For instance, no real translation of fun in French, and that's true. we are not so fun, maybe. It's just an example. Language is a state of mind, of a culture. And in addition to many cognitive contributions that foreign language offer you, it is an opening onto the world and a world of possibilities open to you. So improving the language skill of pupils is a priority for the education system, as their mastery of these languages is an asset for their future. Language learning plays a fundamental role in building citizenship and opening up to the world. So to conclude, let me just tell you a few words about French. French has never been the language of the French alone. Once the dominant language in Europe, particularly in the diplomacy and the art, it is now one of the world's major languages. The official language is United Nations, the African Union, the working language of the European Union, and the official language of several regional organizations. Demographically, French is today an Euro-African language, and in 2050, it will be mainly an African language. In 2050, thanks to Africa, there could be 7 million of French speakers in the world. So just to finish, I would like to quote for you an extract from a joint article by Achille Membe, who is a Cameroonian philosopher, and Alain Mbankou, a Franco-Congolese writer. He said, French has become an African language. It has been added to the Babel of languages that Africans use to create their worlds of meaning and to communicate with each other and with the rest of the world. French in Africa is now part of the global, open, and as it were, heterolingual languages. So, dear candidates and applicants, I wish you a wonderful journey into creativity. Thank you.
Great, 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 great. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, the French Embassy, for being part of this amazing experience. And thank you for reminding us of how diverse and how inclusive the African continent is, and how we speak different languages, but we are still from the same place. At this point, I want to invite one of our colleagues, our friend, her name is Joji Nauma. She's the director of Studio KSL at Ikitabu. She's very committed to widening the access to content for learners with disability. And above it all, for a fact, she is a passionate activist. She's going to tell us more about what DST is. And I think I'll just pose a question to her at this point. Why DST? So welcome, Joji, and karibuni sana.
Thank you so much, Lillian. First is to welcome you once again to the DEC 2021. I'm really happy to be together with all of you today and to also share of innovations, especially what we've been doing during the COVID time. And one of it is digital story time. As Lillian mentioned, my name is Joji Nauma. I'm the director of Studio KSL at Ikitabu, leading the production of accessible materials for children with disabilities. At Ikitabu, we value inclusivity, and to achieve sustainable development, number 4, it is important to remember that we cannot leave anyone behind. And as we are aware, we've had COVID for the last 1 year and schools closed, and the government through the KICD had an initiative where we were providing online learning for the Kenyan children. So we contributed to the KICD work where we brought accessibility closer for children with disability. And what we were doing is packaging our accessible digital content and literacy materials into DSC, which is Digital Storytime, where we had 30 minutes episode program, which included 2 to 3 episodes of Kenya Sign Language videos, and together with human narrated audio. They had captions in English, it has glossary as well, and interactive questions. This is to support the children to have comprehension. We are truly interested in digital story time because it was broadcasting to Kenyan children. That's about 4 million Kenyan children when the schools were closed. It continued to be a big resource for learners when they were learning at home. The digital story time, it's one of the accessible materials, and the main aim is to have inclusion for all children and for all learners, and also to improve their learning outcomes. So I'll take this opportunity to encourage all the learners with disability to participate in this year's digital essay competition. We are really inspired to read your stories, and also we're giving you a platform for you to talk or to tell your stories. As my colleague Michael has mentioned, we welcome your stories in Braille, we welcome them in Kenyan Sign Language as well. In the spirit of leaving no one behind, we appreciate other DPOs who we work closely together, who have been bringing a lot of contribution into our work. They support, and to mention just a few, we have the National Council of Persons with Disabilities, we have KISE, we have Deaf Child Worldwide, and also work with KUB and others. Thank you for supporting our work, providing innovation so that we can lower cost for education and also for the learning materials. And they've also been supporting us to advocate for the training of teachers so that they can be utilizing our materials, and also for the parents' engagement. We continue to work together with them, and so please continue with us in this journey as we work together to bring accessibility closer for children with disabilities. Thank you. I hand back over to my colleague, Mercy.
Let us just clap for Georgine in the sign language, the way she would understand it better. And this is the way she would understand it. Okay, she's now sweating because we just clapped for her. So thank you so much, Georgine, for that. And thanks for, I think Lillian described you as, I think she gave a fact about yourself. You're indeed a passionate activist, especially in this area. And so we continue to learn more, especially from you as a colleague, and also, working with you and children with disabilities, organizations for persons with disabilities. I think you're doing a great job there. Now, just to take us to the next part, well, I don't have enough words to describe this friend of ours. I wish I had the heart to introduce him really well, but because I'm just the MC for the day, I will take the honors to introduce him, just to come and speak to us. And this is a friend and a great advisor to us, especially as Ikitabu. We value our relationship with him because I think whenever we get his call or we want to hear from him, he's one of those guys that you would sit down and you really want to listen carefully to what he says, because whatever he says will definitely will have an impact, or even will definitely help you. So here is a friend of ours and a great advisor, Director, Education Media from Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. That is Dr. Kimoto. Karibu sana, sir.
Thank you. That's for Georgina. We always like making her laugh because he has just a wonderful smile. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this session, really digital essay competition. And this year marking the 9th year, we are just about to celebrate a decade. Can you imagine? When I think about it and I know where we started with Ikitabu just a few years before the digital essay competition began, then I see how time flies, but also how things have changed over the years. So to everyone, as we began the journey of digitalness and borrowing from outside to ourselves, we really realize the need for localization. You think global, you act local, and you use local context. And today, as we get together and we remember the journey towards developing of digital content, having a learning management system and a platform, even going to inclusivity. And those are the kind of mentors that I would like to put on e-Kitabu as they go along, because they think about everything and move together, not purposefully for anything, but to just ensure that each one of us are together. But dear colleagues, a national platform like this one that we are having, where learners are getting together to share and discuss things through essay, is very important. To us from KICD, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, we see it as real CBC, because it is where competencies acquired come to be exercised. CBC has the 7 competencies, and importantly to all of them is the competence of digital literacy, which is a driver. And actually we didn't experience how much of a driver it is until COVID came in. But before I mention that, and all the other things we did about digital stories, time and all that we did, Kitab and many other collaborators, it was a time to show what a resilient education system is and what it is supposed to be. I am so happy to hear about foreign languages coming into the digital essay competition, because look at CBC. Foreign languages begin as early as grade 4. Earlier on, we were only doing them at high school. But now at grade 4, you find Arabic. I should begin with French. You find French, Germany, Arabic, Mandarin. They are all there as full learning areas. And therefore, as we look at the digital essay competition and you see the inclusivity, we see from KICD point of view as a real CBC activity and promoting it as such. Dear colleagues, as COVID came in, we realized that, yes, we need to have resilient education systems that will be there during the time of terrorism, during the time of difficult times like diseases and others. And this forms the basis of the digital essay competition for this year. What are your experiences? Really, I should apologize because I have been moving around into schools, and the kind of confessions I have had is really heavy. Last Saturday, I was at Mumbi Girls in Muranga and Technology Primary in Muranga. And in all those places, I could hear confessions from learners, how they benefited from this digital platform and the other. But of course, very important, the Edu TV being the only TV to be honored with the 2 digital gold awards by Communications Authority, one for patriotism and the second one for caring about children in the broadcasting world. It is because we brought together ourselves and created this as a platform for sharing, a platform for learning. And that is where we brought even the digital story time into it. So here we are, writing about our stories, writing about our experiences during COVID and how digitalness helped us. And that was actually the theme that Communications Authority chose to pick as they were doing their awards and recognizing the various platforms that were able to help Kenyans at a time of need. So it is to encourage all of us and say, the benefit really is to the learner. As the learner sits down and starts writing about that, then the learner will also be thinking about what other ways can I do that could help me better than I got help at that time. Which are these other platforms that we'll pick on and be able to use? As part of the system of the digital essay competition, I really like coming to us the very end to see how the sharing has been, to even pick from those innovations and be able to get what is this practice that is already ahead of policy. Because in most cases, you'll find the sharing is, I did this, this is my experience, something we never thought of because we are gathering from across the country. So this sharing platform is so important to us, and I'm therefore encouraging everyone of us who are not going to do the essays because we are not within the category. Let us make it known to those ones who are within the category to do the essays. Let us also listen to them as they write the essays. They can also tell us those stories verbally. After all, we are in Africa. We belong to the oral culture. Let us hear the telling of those stories verbally and even in writing. I would also like to see those who can be able to tell the stories in various languages. Who is this who can tell it in English and tell it in French, tell it in Kiswahili, and also tell it in another language? Imagine how powerful it can be as we pick on that. And therefore, dear friends, we have a duty to be able to walk through this by encouraging those ones who are within it, interpreting what you need to interpret to them, because the digitalness here, there's always a confusion that it is internet. No, data-read learning, contextualized. Those ones who can go online and get to our platforms, it is still digital. And those who can do combination of TV and all, it is still digital. So this contextualized way, as we listen to it, as we hear the learners saying how they used WhatsApp, two of my grandsons used WhatsApp during that time in April and May. As we listen to that, what are we going to gain from it? What context are we going to put from it? And how are we going to also judge the learning outcomes? In the past, we have followed up the schools and the learners who have done well in digital as a competition. They end up doing well in the summative assessments. In KSC, we call them standard 8 for towards the assessments. They end up doing well. And therefore, this is an important platform where we encourage everybody to be in it, and those who can be in it, be in it. Thank you so much. And let us see how 2021 will be written in terms of the experiences of 2020. Thank you.
Asante sana, Daktari. Now, I want us to use our reactions on the screen. So on your Zoom, there's a reactions button. If we can just give a good clap to Daktari, I wish there was a way to dictate this like the Harambe way of doing the claps, but let's just give Daktari a clap. If you can see the reactions button, thank you very much. Thank you for those appreciations. Thank you so much, Daktari. And those are real facts that you've given right there. And for some of them, it seems like there are things that we can take them for action, especially for what you've mentioned as far as digital is concerned, because this is digital and we are there. We're not, it's not something that is coming in future. So so asante sana, and thank you for your continued support. And one thing about Dr. Kimoto, actually, he has been a judge, I don't know for how many years, in the digital essay competition, but he has been a judge in the digital essay competition. So for all those that have won the digital essay competition, you just had one of our judges speaking this afternoon. So thank you very much. Now, Joji talked about the DST, and Dr. Kimoto has also mentioned about the digital story time and the work that we did together with them during the pandemic. And maybe you're wondering what that is. Emon, do you want to tell us, or rather show us how this this looks like? How does digital story time actually looks like?
Donkey told cow. Rabbit had something falling and she ran. What did chicken do when she heard what rabbit said? Dog. D
Tune in every Monday to Friday on Edu TV Kenya from 9:40 to 10 past 10 a.m. and have children enjoy accessible learning materials from eKitabu Digital Storytime.
Great. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. We have had a lovely session. I think we should do our nice claps here. Great, great. I'm so happy for the things you're discussing about. I love what you're talking about and the engagement you're having so far. And even on the emphasis on what DEC means to each and every one of us at this point in time. So as you've heard before, eKitabu is a community of friends and a community of people who have worked together to build this baby called DEC. We have nurtured it from different angles. We have received support from many areas. And specifically at this point of time, we have received support from the Ministry of Education. And we have a very, very good friend of ours here to give us just a brief on the journey MOE has had with eKitabu as in regards to DEC. So without further ado, I will like to invite from the Ministry of Education, the Director for Special Needs Education, Mr. Fred Haga. Karibu sana.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel very honored to have been invited to this event to discuss a very important issue during a very important occasion, an occasion that we've been told is just about to turn 10. And even as we near that decade mark, I want to believe that the digital essay competition, as much as we are celebrating its age, it is still very young, because I believe in the next 20, 30, 40, or even 50 years, when we'll be discussing serious writers to have come out of Kenya, somewhere in their stories, we may have writers who started off by participating in the digital essay competition. And therefore, I see the DEC as a very important cog in the education system, for it provides the opportunity for young people to express themselves creatively. And that is very important, because creativity is a component of our education system that the ministry takes very seriously. However, today, I want to focus more on the relationship that the Ministry of Education, and especially the Directorate of Special Needs Education, has had with eKitabu. It has been a long, fruitful, mutual journey with shared causes, shared focus, a focus that targets learners with special needs and other disabilities, to give them the opportunity that their peers without disability have, that they are also able to compete to alongside other learners and express themselves in this particular disability. Ikitabu and the Ministry of Education have partnered to give these children opportunities
Right. It seems like we have lost Director Haga, but we will probably have him when he's back. I'm sure it's something to do with the internet, but once we have him back, we will probably give him an opportunity to finalize his remarks. I actually wanted to acknowledge him and say thank you very much for his support, and also just to say also pole to the entire Ministry of Education, especially the Directorate of Special Needs Education, for losing a colleague the other day, a colleague that we've also enjoyed working with him as an officer. He's represented the directorate in the past in the work that we've been doing. So we join you as the ministry to say pole sana for losing a colleague. May his soul rest in peace. At this point, I think my colleagues will notify me once Fred is back, and we can give him a chance. Now, I think we can proceed since we are wrapping up this particular call. And as you may all have seen, the event is live on Facebook. So just know that you're live on social media as well. So please, even if it's just 5 minutes to go, keep smiling. Don't lose it. Just keep the smile, so that we finish this together strongly. Now, to just finish us in this particular event this afternoon, and we'll if Fred joins at some point, then we'll notify you as well. And of course, I wish I had better words to to give Will a better way to welcome him to come and give a remark. But I honestly, and being an employee of Ikitabu, I think he's one of my best bosses ever. I mean, in ever that I have ever worked with. And so I really enjoy working with Ikitabu, especially with the time that I've been here. So, and I have learned a lot from Will. So Will, maybe you can come and just give your remarks and maybe acknowledge these people and this community that we have built over time. So over to you, Will.
Asante sana, Mercy. And Mercy, I learn a lot from you. I think you know that. I appreciate your very kind words, and I learn a lot from you, as I do from other colleagues and even certainly people in our community on this call. Director Haga, when he comes back, Dr Kimoto, I really loved what you said about real CBC. It's beautiful. That's what we strive for, because the curriculum by itself is just a curriculum, isn't it? When we bring learning to life through activities, it seems to me, and thinking about things you've said before, it seems to me that it's in the activities that the competencies get built. We talk a lot, and with KICD and with the ministry, about universal design for learning. And these, some colleagues have heard that this is the era of UDL. Yeah, I guess some teachers in Ghana came up with that mnemonic, the era of UDL. It's era because E stands for the first principle of UDL, which is provide multiple means of engagement, E for engagement. R is for representation, provide multiple means of representation, and A is for providing multiple means of action and expression. And so real CBC, to me, that means that we are finding ways to engage children, even during the pandemic when they're out of school, finding ways to represent knowledge, to represent teaching content and learning content in ways that meet learners where they are, leaving nobody behind, and giving all learners, and not just the children themselves, but also their families, parents, caregivers, and the teachers. In some sense, above all the teachers, who are the carriers, who are the supporters, who are the daily guides of education. And their role, without teachers, I think we won't get far. Thinking about Director Haga's comments before he was cut off. And let me say to anybody from DSNE who's also on the call, as Mercy said, Pole sana. We were very sorry to hear about the loss of Ken. He was a very good colleague, and we enjoyed working with him. So we're very surprised and sad for his loss, and we wish you strength. We wish his family comfort, and we'll remember him well. In fact, when we were together in Naivasha, working together, even during the pandemic, as Director Haga was talking about, to build evidence of, as I keep coming back and quoting the others who've spoken on this call. I hope it's okay, but Dr. Kimoto's culminating point about the importance of what learning outcomes, how are we improving learning, and how can we change, how can we improve learning outcomes for all children. This is the focus of the work that we do with Directorate of Special Needs Education. In Universal Design for Learning, the idea is that when you, let's say, build your building, when you design your house for people on the margins, then your building works better for everyone. That's how we try to approach learning, and that's how we want the digital essay competition to be, as an activity, as a challenge, but also as some learning pattern that brings together, as other speakers have said very, very well, brings together a community. As you saw with Zawadi, who spoke at Loreto Msangari some years ago, and we were we were all very surprised at and this is now, she's only 7 now. When we first met Zawadi, I think she couldn't have been more than, I don't know, was she even 5? I guess she must have been 5, but it seems impossible to me that she was 4, because the poem that she recited, she seemed like she was a big person. Anyway, engaging children, engaging the parents, engaging the teachers, all of us in a learning process. And this is another point that Director Haga was making about, let's not, okay, there's this year, 2021, and next year DEC is 10 years old. But Director Haga was saying, why not see into the future, 50 years? Why not see as far as the next generation of Kenyan authors, the Kenyan creators? And for our colleagues and friends from Kenya Publishers Association who are with us on this call, and to Mr. Njagi, who couldn't be here today, and I hope he's okay. We say Twende digital. Sometimes we say Tunaenda digital. Maybe I think sometimes we can say these days Tuko digital. But to pick up on the Nairobi International Book Fair theme recently of Twende digital, we're walking this journey together. We're walking this journey that's not just a journey of reading, but also a journey of writing. And that's where digital essay competition is so close to my heart. And I think other colleagues here as well, because there's this in the CBC, in the real CBC, what we create is, can we say, just as important as what we take in. And DEC recognizes, supports, encourages, and rewards creativity. I like that Director Haga was emphasizing creativity, because I know him. He is himself a creative person, and he respects and even enjoys creativity. And that's what we want DEC to bring to life. I should also mention other colleagues on the call. I saw Madam Chege from Kisei, and also our dear friend Zach from Kisei. It's nice you're here. I saw Angela from University of Nairobi, and anybody else from the UON library team. Karibu sana. We're very happy you've been with us all this way. You know, as some people will know, as certainly Dr. Kimoto knows from I think Dr. Kimoto has been a judge in DEC, as Mercy mentioned, since the very first year. We've been honored, and he always does his homework. He's not one of these types who just, you know, puts in an appearance. He does his homework. He writes feedback on the essays that he's responsible for reviewing. And that too is important, the feedback that comes out of this process. We try to ensure that every single essay writer receives feedback. To us, that's very important, because the journey matters more than, can I say, the winners. We've always tried to find ways to widen the winner's circle, so to speak, to recognize everybody who joins, everyone who tries. You know, an essay, as well as our French colleagues know, the word essay in English comes from the French word to try. So the digital essay competition is, in some sense, a trying, and a way for anybody who can, to try. Ammon, can I ask you to put up the questions? So now I can try my Kiswahili, I can try my French, and I can try my German to close. I think my German will probably be the worst of them, but I guess I'll start with Kiswahili. So the questions, as we know, for this year are in Kiswahili first. Ni mugumu na mazuri yapi uliopitia kipindi hiki cha corona. That's a nice, I always think that languages are nice when they can say a lot in fewer words. It looks like the German one is probably the longest here. Maybe the English is second. So in English, what are the hardest and best experiences you have had during the COVID-19 pandemic? In French, quels ont été les pires et les meilleurs souvenirs que tu as vécu pendant la crise du COVID-19? And then in German, here's me trying. Welches sind die schlimmsten und die schönsten Erlebnisse, die du während der COVID-19-Pandemie hattest? So I guess it's mine to officially declare the Digital Essay Competition 2021 now open and launched. We welcome all entries. We welcome all learners and colleagues who are here learning with us. Asanteni sana. Mercy, over to you.
Thank you very much, Will. And I feel at this point we need to do something special. We would want to invite Joji to give us the 2021 DEC essay question in Kenya Sign Language. Karibu sana, Joji. Just give us the Kenya Sign Language.
Welcome to 2021 Digital Essay Competition. What's the question for this year? Time for the coronavirus. How has your experience been, hard or easy? Yes, thank you.
Yay! Thank you very much, Jujin, and thank you very much, our wonderful speakers. We have sadly come to the end of this beautiful session. And at this point, I want to just take a few minutes to give Asante, and that is thank you to our very amazing guests. And I will start with our featured speakers. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your commitment to DEC. I will want to also give thanks to our partners, that is MOE, KICD, KPA, the French Embassy, there's KISE, there's UON, and many other partners that are represented by the different individuals in this meeting. Asante sana, that is Swahili, and in English, that is thank you very much for your time. We also want to thank you, the media that is present. We want to thank you, to say thank you to the associations present. To all the DEC agents that are present here, we want to give you thanks. To all the DEC alumni, thank you very much for being part of this beautiful journey. And last, but not last actually, we want to also give thanks to our parents. We want to give thanks to the head teachers and our teachers. And last but not least, we would want to give thanks to our honorable guests, and that is our learners who will be participating in the 2021 DEC competition. And before we end, I would want us to also just remind ourselves the questions, and they'll be on the screens at the end. And at this point, I want us to end with a brief grace. We will all say the grace from where we are. So we will start. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. Have a good evening.
Thank you.